That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let
me I'm ready.
Just let me That clock keeps ticking like a metronome, and my thoughts keep telling me to get me home, but my balls keep telling me to let me
to Keemstar's favorite irrelevant podcast, broadcasting live from the heart of Europe. This is the most badass YouTube broadcast in all the known land, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tommy C, and I'm with my point man today, none other than Jeff the Huffman. All right, the title is a little misleading, and there's a reason that it's misleading, and I'm going to change the name of the title. What's that? No, I'm changing the name of the title. I'll be adding a name to it right afterwards. But the title is also very relevant. How Catch 33 got its name to what I'm about to play. Here's the things I'm not going over. The accusations of e-begging, which have never been proven, even though I broadcast 5 days a week. The accusations of conspiracy theories and tinfoil hat. Oh, by the way, that joke was stolen. It wasn't. Hold on a second.
Yes, that's right.
That joke was stolen by the Joe Cronin show.
We've heard that.
He must have saw in the comments. If you see 1 week ago over here, tinfoil hat. This is something I got from the Joe Cronin show. Look at the tweets below there. These are all from a year ago. Tinfoil Tommy, tinfoil Dick.
Damn.
He stole a fucking joke.
Call that research.
But I'm not going over that because nothing new happened in the podcast. I get trashed every week as a liar with no context, no evidence, no nothing. I get trashed as
there's nothing else going on, so what are they going to turn to?
Yeah, I get trashed. Yeah, I get trashed for begging to know. Never been proven. No one's ever been able to produce anything like that. And I'm not going to sit there and get in this dumb conversation. Well, you talk about him more. He talks about you more. Thanks so much for the donation. Let's get this started. I talk about whatever the fuck I like, and I'm doing a show about trending topics. When he injects himself, I'm going to still bring it up. Nothing's changed. But there was something in the Baited podcast, and that's essentially what this is going to be. Actually, I'm taking phone calls today because I don't really have much to say. It's the same old jive.
It's same shit, different day.
I'm just the center of the podcast. So I'm a liar, conspiracy theorist, greedy, and all that other stuff.
You're ungrateful.
It's ungrateful. I'm ungrateful.
By the way,
I suck ass.
Ungrateful. When did Keem say thank you to you and Clown for saving his reputation?
I think he did. In fairness, I think he did in the show. I think he did on this
okay,
show.
Fair enough.
Yeah, he did once.
Fair enough. I don't remember it.
He did actually recently on this other podcast that I heard. But I mean that's all well and good. But I'm not getting into the conversation because I'm talking about whatever else. Nothing's changed on Baited. Nothing's going to change here. There was one thing that and this is the reason I titled the show. That was new, and I'm going to cover that, and then I'm just going to take your calls, and you can ask me whatever questions you can ask for whatever questions you want. And I think this is it right here.
In September,
here we go.
When everything was going big with Baited, Baited was where I would go to get the news on what was going down, and at that point in time, I didn't know Tommy at all until like way later after you guys broke up. That's when I first started talking to him, and to have him like basically kiss your ass every episode. And I was friends with Leafy at this point in time, so like having him talk down on Leafy and kiss you up so much, I thought he was like ride or die for you. And then when things split up and he went totally 180. It felt so fishy to me. Like that's like my one big thing with him is how he could be so affixed to your butt like during Baited, lips to ass, just and he said it was for job security, right? He said he kissed your ass because he didn't want to lose the gig he had, and that's fine.
What I said was I didn't want to piss him off after the scare situation where I was basically threatened with my job. I didn't kiss his ass. I didn't think he was lying, and I've never taken back one defense that I ever made about to Keem when the Leafy situation. One of the reasons that I stuck up for Keem, because he was right. They were fucking him over. It was a backstab. I've never changed that whatsoever.
Right, it was completely wrong the way they did it.
Yeah, it was garbage. I've never changed that. I've never flipped on that or anything else. But there's a problem with what you're saying, Billy, because you mentioned that I just sort of flipped on a dime and turned on Keem. Well, don't you know what the name of the podcast is? It's called Catch 33 for a reason. It's a joke about Keemstar's lie about Clown.
That's the whole thing behind it.
So I find it a little difficult, if not impossible, to believe that you didn't know that. Well, let's say you didn't know that. Let's say you just forgot. So you threw me under the bus on Baited, and you didn't know the whole story. It's only one of two options in here. It's either a backstab or you were talking out your ass. So let me give you a little history lesson. This is what happened. This is how the podcast got his name. Around the time, about 2 weeks before the podcast broke up, Keem called me up and said, we have a problem, and it's with Colossal's Crazy. Thank you so much for the donation, right? Yeah, people don't care about facts. Well, I got to get him out. I was taken aside and told, we got a problem. Clown is demanding to leave the podcast. Clown is demanding to leave the podcast unless we all get 33%, all even shares. And he says, do you have a problem with that? I said, I do have a problem with that because I gave my word. I'm more than happy with the 20%. Money was starting to roll in from the Leafy episode, which got over a million hits. And I said, no, I don't. But I got to be honest with you, Keem, because he seemed panicked. I want to hear from Clown before this because he did one of his disappearing acts, and Keem was freaking out by not getting a hold of him. And I specifically remember this because he was going on Twitter about it as well. He said, look, I know you like this guy, but he's fucking you over here. If he won't do the podcast, it's fucked. Like, it doesn't work without all three of us. Yeah, I know he says something different now. And I said, look, if it comes down to it, I will refuse to give up my 30%. And he says, you will stick up for me. He says, yeah, absolutely. I agreed. I gave my word. So right shortly after that, I was invited by I Am Alex into a Discord chat. And he asked me about it. And I was like, this is what Keem told me. Keem popped in. Alex can back this up. YouTuber can back this up. Keem came in there and shut everybody the fuck up. I know Alex went on about how they talked down to him and they called him out. They didn't, and I didn't know that it wasn't true at the time. Keem called everybody out. Or Keem commented, he's demanding to break up whether I give him something that we didn't agree to in the first place. That's not fair. We agreed to it, and he's changing the agreement. And I remember saying in there, and YouTuber can back me up on that. He was in the call. Let's wait to hear from Clown. Do you think this? No, Tommy, this is what he told me. Well, of course, Clown comes out of the blue. He said, I've never made this demand. This is a passing conversation about money.
This is where things
And Keem didn't want to have the conversation. Keem didn't want to have the conversation because he thought it made me and him look like money grubbers. So fine, we won't do this. And then I heard Clown. We were in a call together, and I heard Clown say, well, then we won't do it. Don't worry about it. Then that's it. That's it. So,
which is essentially what boils down to what the first episode of Catch 33 was about, hence why it's titled Baited.
Keem lied. He lied. The 30%, he lied about Clown. So, when the whole thing fell apart, and by the way, we tried to record another episode where I didn't kiss his ass, and he demanded it not be played. He kept it from the public because he looks like a bitch.
And is this the one where you said where you went off for about like 5 minutes straight?
Yeah, and you know what he sat there and went, but he won't release his freaking audio. I did back in January 6th.
If he doesn't come out on top every single time, of course it's not going to get released.
The whole thing of Catch 33, and the biggest problem I have with this, Billy, you didn't know I catched it because that's what was a joke, is a Keemstar lie about Clown. That's why I did the 180 on Keem. I talked to Clown. He said, this is all bullshit. I don't want to end the podcast. I'm sorry about this. And I said, Clown, I believe you. It sounded like bullshit from the beginning. I just wanted to hear it from your mouth. And that's the end of it. And then he said, I got something to tell you. He's been trying to fire you for weeks. And remember when you got lectured for saying hello to Scarce in a tweet? It's like, yeah, I got yelled at. Well, he spent a good 2 hours on me trying to fire you. Well, ride or die, Billy? Well, I can't ride or die for somebody when he kicks me off the motherfucking bike. I have a little trouble believing that you don't know this, considering we've had tons of personal conversations, and at the time that we met, which is the one thing that you said it was true, was after the Baited breakup, I was fucking distraught, and I would ask Jeff or anybody else, I'd tell anybody within earshot why I was pissed off at Keemstar. Was it a 180 flip on a dime? He fucked over my friend. He ended the podcast. We left because we made demands.
Get rid of you.
Yeah, he tried to get rid of me. Clown didn't tell me. He stood up to him And I stood up for Clown. Clown called me up because, look, can you fix this? I said, yeah, I can fix this. I went on Twitter and I said, this is all bullshit. Keem's a liar. And then he said, I got something to tell you. I'm supposed to ride or die for that? Seriously? That makes me a fraud? I'm an ass kisser? You know what? Here's another problem. I can't be an ass kisser and I can't be ungrateful.
You can't be a dick sucker or
and ungrateful at the same time. I was grateful. Absolutely. And I was angry when it was whipped out in front. It was taken out in front of me. And I'm angry about what it's become.
I remember listening to you in the chat, like in our little private chat that we got, just like how giddy you were, like how excited you were, like when you started doing this.
And I wasn't going to fuck it up. Sure. If he doesn't want me to talk to Scares, fine. He was my boss. Do you guys listen to your boss? I know he says he wasn't now.
Your boss makes you do shit that you don't want to do all the time. But I mean, there's a line that can be crossed.
Yeah, he crossed it. He tried to fuck over my friend. And by the way, the podcast, we patched it up. We recorded the episode. He bitched out when I went drill sergeant on him. And then he went public with another accusation for Clown and said that him and Leafy were planning doing a video on him back last January of 2015, it would be 2016. Early 2016, which, by the way, we did the math. He didn't know Clown at the time. You know? So, and then he ended the podcast. He ended it right there. That's when he ended it. And he wasn't giving in to our demands, and he said publicly that he couldn't trust Clown. So I don't know where you're getting this from, Billy. I told you. Personally, we had a freaking personal conversation not 2 weeks ago. I remember, I'll never forget the day that I was freaking out and I called you about when that little glitch and everybody's losing their subs. You know, and it was like, you're like, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. And we talked about the shit with Keem. And you go on and say that Dave flip-flopped on the whole thing. Dave has praised Keem as I have praised Keem when he's right. I did it unbaited. I did it 3 weeks ago with Daddy 05. I actually stuck with a few people that stuck up for Keem. That's flip-flopping? No, he just lets you talk.
Well, so he can't admit when he's wrong.
Well, I'm talking about Billy. Billy, he just lets you talk. That's all it was. He lets you talk. He doesn't hate Keem any more than fucking anybody else. I'm the only one who really has a good reason to hate him. So I'm supposed to ride or die? I'm ungrateful, yet I'm an ass kiss? It doesn't make any sense. And I remember telling you this. And it's like, you don't know why it's called Catch 33? It's because it's a joke about Keemstar's lie about Clown. It was a goof. So when I wanted this to be a little surprise, I'm changing the title to Billy the Fridge. This is how Catch 33 got its name. That's it. So, I mean, ride or die? I don't really get that shit at all. Period. So, I mean, fuck. I either got backstabbed Billy doesn't know what the fuck he's talking about.
Same thing. It's the same stuff that was said in the first episode of Catch 33.
Yeah, all this stuff was covered in Catch 33.
Stuff.
So it's completely unbelievable. We talked about it. I mean, I suppose you could have forgot. And as for being a tinfoil hat wearing jerk off, well, I don't know. I've been pretty accurate with my speculation on Keem. I speculated that Kavos couldn't take pressure if he was under it, and maybe he was any better than anybody else. When he was exposed for being that person, and then he tried to run a fake news story, he tried to collaborate with somebody else to give me a false narrative. Some guy called me up, this guy Kavos is fucking with me. He didn't shout me out, sort of like a Leafy situation. And I didn't take the story. The guy admitted, Kavos put me up to this and showed me the tweets. Kavos is still growing, but I was right. He couldn't take criticism. And it's not in that way. He actually admitted it in his VWQ video that he can't do it live because he's just not comfortable doing that. I don't have a problem with Kavos. I got no issues with the guy.
That's fine.
It slowed down his growth because people know that he wasn't as legit as that pissed off Keem. Keem has been using this guy as a fucking weapon to settle scores. And that's all he ever talked about was settling scores when I was unbaited. Settling with Leafy and Grade.
It was just the Keem redemption tour for the
whole
Grade.
That's all it was. That's all he ever did was to get talk about
as soon as reputation was redeemed, tossed you and Clown aside.
Just like H3 kind of predicted. You know?
There's a track record of this.
Yeah, I know. So
Same shit, different fucking day.
Going back to what I was saying. Like you threw me off. Speaking of throwing off track, I could kick you in the mouth for throwing me off track.
It's a pretty big it's a pretty big target. So
I don't owe anybody loyalty that tries to fuck me over behind my back, or tries to fuck over the guy that stood his ground for me. I'm Keemstar's last critic. And the whole thing with saying that I'm a conspiracy theorist, calling me a liar without context or evidence, calling me a freeloader without context or evidence, saying that I ran around saying my family was poor. No, I was at work. He knew that. He's never substantiated any of this. And I'm a conspiracy theorist? Here's another conspiracy theory I got right. Chad, listen up. Me and Dave speculated that not the last baited episode, the one before that about Phil DeFranco, sounded like a play. It didn't sound organic at all. It sounded forced. And that was called a conspiracy theory, which, I mean, in fairness, is speculation. Well, guess what? Chad DM'd me. He said his internet went out and they had to do it over again. And that's why it sounded forced, because they reenacted it. Chad and me had that conversation. He knows it. He wouldn't deny it. That's not a conspiracy theory.
How many times did you and Clown have to record?
All the time. If Clown got the better of him, and let's be honest, I stuck up for Keem more because he was being screwed. And I now realize
and Clown was sticking up for his friends.
And Clown was clicking up for friends. I had no issue with any of them.
As much as he could, yeah.
Played neutral. Was grateful. Was loyal when I was told not to talk to Scaris. When he fucked over my friends, that's it.
That crosses the line.
Maybe you made a super mistake here, but you either lied or you talked out your ass. There's no in between. My speculation has been dead on. It's been accurate. And Keem, I know you're watching because you watch all my shows. You called me twice last week. Nothing changes. If you accuse Phil DeFranco or any other YouTuber again, and I might cover the Comedy Shorts Gamer thing, when you're a little candy ass fight with him, and we did that's another thing. He went on and told people that SourceFed was sold, just to turn a profit. Turns out that's not true. He didn't do his homework. Dead on Dave, who was Mr. Flip Flopper, pointed that out. Turned out to be true. You do it again, I'm doing it again. Nothing changes.
You can criticize whoever you want.
No offense to no fuckers here and some of these other commentary that tamers that kind of gotten on their knees or took it in the ass for Keem, with the possible exception of Wild Spartans who stood up to him recently. I don't got to go to school, Keem, and hear, Tommy, you got roasted by Keemstar. It's 15-year-old kids, man. Thank you so much, Shadow Humor. Keem, I bet you're watching this stream too. Sad crybaby bullshit. You know, I mean, that's it. Nothing changes. There's no reason for it to change. I don't even talk about baited all that often. Somebody pointed out only four of my last 44 videos. You're only in 4 of the last 44 thumbnails. But it doesn't matter. You could be in all 44. Nothing's changing. Do you really think? Hold on, Jeff. Do you really think that I am gonna see dislikes on my dislike bar, get L's from 13-year-old kids, and I'm just gonna woke up? Oh, I'm so embarrassed. I know it worked with VWQ, unfortunately. I know it worked with other YouTubers. I know it worked with no fuckers. But I don't care. As soon as this is over, I go to bed. I know that these are high school bully tactics. And I'll tell you something. That podcast you have is fucking embarrassing. It looks like a bunch of old ladies at a fucking sewing circle. And the big Italian broad with bad haircuts, because some of them got long hair, with bad haircuts bitching. And the Italian woman, what a shock. She's the biggest big blabbermouth. I'm not this whole thing with intimidation, and that's all it is. I mean, if this was Lacey Green doing something like this, they would be calling it, they were bullying another channel. And you actually pulled the bully card. I don't care if you bully me, because it just has no effect. Nothing changes. And here's what it all comes down. This is funny to me. It really comes down to something as silly as
September when
I
everything was going
can't even
big.
remember my fucking buttons today.
Yeah,
Why
press
is
the
this?
right-
I
That's right,
This is
admit,
it.
yes, that's right. I nixed Keem being on Catch 33. Now, there was some influence by Dead on Dave. He said he didn't want him on because we'd get a bunch of hits and he would hold it over our heads, and he didn't want that. He didn't want the project corrupted like that or give Keem some super new narrative. I was resistant to it at first, but after a while, I really started to believe strongly that Keem doesn't belong on Catch 33. Look, the baited story has been told. It's over. It's done with. It's done. And for all you guys that, well, you can't keep Keem out of your mouth. Well, check the stuff. Besides the announcement of the new podcast that he's doing with Graydon Leafy, I've only criticized him on stuff where he's injecting himself into the story itself, like Daddy O5 and Zaptai's situation. That's the only time I talk about Keem, when he is the story. So, I mean, I'm going to...
So I put out that tweet. 12 hours later, we're going to war. Wake up, Chad. You even got a hold of Max Mofo to wake up, Chad. So, I mean, look, Keem, there's no war. You're not coming on Catch 33. I guess you made a war so you get us. And I said this before, and some people laughed at it. You need us more than we need you. That's the truth. So you drummed up some drama. But it drummed up some drama.
There's nothing else going on, so what else is going to go to?
I guess you thought I was going to go in and freak the fuck out. Why would I freak the fuck out? I already freaked out about it months ago. It's the same shit. I guess you got to come up with some new bullshit. You didn't prove anything. You just ranted and raving like an old fucking woman. And I got to be honest with you, like this whole thing. Wild Spartans makes a video. He sends his guys over there. He tells them this, that, and the other thing. There's no reason for the video. You're a bad person. You suck. Your content creator sucks. Like that's not. Thanks for the dollar. That's not going to do anything to me because I don't care. This is your life. This is what you've built for yourself. My greatest accomplishment in life was not getting deported from Germany during a custody battle that I ended up winning. Fucking half a decade it took to win custody. 5 years in a foreign court. A trip to Iraq. Basic training. You're going to intimidate me out of making videos or putting you in the thumbnail? Are you kidding me? There's something very feminine about you, Keem. And I'm not calling you a fag, because I'd just call you a fag if I wanted to. And I can't really get, like, this sort of Mean Girls Club is going to get me off of that. And it's not going to get Dave off of it either. You fuck up, I'll be there. You know why? Because you, and Scarce is in a lot more fucking thumbnails than you. I'm pretty sure you and Scarce are hacks. And it's fucking funny. And this show is fucking funny. That's it. Oh, last thing, and I'm going to take calls. Keem, if you really think I'm stalking you, I suggest, because I know you made that suggestion as well, call the police. Tell them that, you're like, the only person more famous than you in Buffalo is Jack fucking, future locker room cancer Eichel.
He doesn't know who that is.
Yeah, it is. That's the only, so like, you're like,
Gave up
all right,
sports in elementary school.
here's what you tell him.
After recess.
Here's what you tell him, since you're worried about me stalking you. And this is not, I don't have the right to criticize a public figure as much as I want. The amount of time. Look, if you think I criticize Keemstar, unsub. A lot of people have. Don't care. Nothing changes. And it's another thing I can't change either. By the way, the amount of money that I lost last month with the Adpocalypse, the fucking donors came through and covered it. I could still stay. I don't really have to look for a job just yet. Didn't see that coming. Thank you, by the way. So that tells me that they're paying me to keep you honest. And I'm going to keep doing that. I promise. No amount of baited podcast, Axis of Evil, tinfoil hat. I don't give a shit about seeing my name in a tinfoil hat. I don't care about dislikes. Doesn't intimidate me because I'm literally talking to a bitch. There's something feminine about you. You get in the sewing circle and you gang up on the girls. Nothing changes. All right, let me take calls. That's it. That's all I got to say about the whole damn thing. 719, you're on the air.
Hey, Tommy, I just want to say I love your show.
Thank you.
And I actually just had a question. If you actually did, actually meet up with Keem, do you think you would end up getting in a fight with him?
No, because I only get in fights if my life's threatened.
No.
So I'd probably talk some shit. But yeah, he took a swing at me. But I mean, that's like, I mean, it's ridiculous. This fighting over the internet and stuff. It's stupid. I don't raise my hands unless my life's threatened. And I'm really not worried about, I mean, there's something kind of feminine about him. You know, he's short and he's got crazy hair or he's got no hair. He's got the crazy beard.
No hair, yeah.
He's, you know, I tower over him. You know, I know he's like kind of fat, but I probably weigh more than him in the 6'1". I feel bad for people like that. He's weak. And he uses like the fucking, I mean, he's literally the guy in the short bus in you know, the guy that goes to the loser cruiser in the back seat going and fucking freaking everybody the fuck out. And that's what he does in the commentary community. He's bugs, I'm a piece of bread. He behaves psychotic. He did exactly what H3 said he would do. But no, I'm never laying my hands on anybody unless my life was threatened. And I'm pretty fucking big, dude. So I'm not worried about it. All right, man. Thanks for the call. All right. What the fuck?
I like how his nerves are made of glass, yet Dave is the one with actual nerve damage.
Yeah. Yeah, and he goes after fucking Dave, and he fucking got hurt in a goddamn.
And then when Keem faces criticism, he tries to push that under the rug faster than a Hillary Clinton email.
I'm being bullied. He's being bullied. You're on the air, man. What's up?
How you doing, Tommy?
What do you got for me?
Okay. I wanted to complain about Chad.
What about him?
I cannot stand that motherfucker.
Why?
Fat fucking
Reasons.
Australian.
Reasons. We don't do what we do on Baited. You gotta actually form a fucking sentence.
Okay. To me, he's exactly guilty of what he quote unquote criticizes you for. The
sucking
fact
ass,
that
right?
No, not the sucking ass part.
Tommy.
The fact that you didn't bring anything new to Baited.
Yeah.
He does nothing. He does nothing to improve the show. All he does is literally bandwagon when it's for the sake of the joke. You know?
Yeah.
It adds nothing. It adds nothing.
For somebody that said I never added anything, I didn't stick up. I mean, go back. I didn't stick up for Keem on everything. I did stick up for Clown and Search and things. I don't know that. I mean, he called me a dick sucker. I don't know that he hasn't done the same fucking thing. And I know he's upset because he's fucking DMing me. And I got news for you. They're going to fuck Andy and I don't know if Andy cares, but they're going to fuck those two over just like they fucked me. He's going to weasel his way out of it like he did with Keem. And I'm supposed to be, according to Billy the Fridge, I'm supposed to ride or die. I'm a shady scumbag because I bowed out because the guy was trying to fuck me and my buddies over. I don't know. I don't know what kind of friends you hang out with, Billy. I ain't riding for dying if somebody's trying to fucking hurt me. Fuck that. But I mean, yeah, I think that's a fair criticism of Chad. There's nothing there. He's just kind of like he's like the hillbilly hipster. You know, I don't really have any. I don't really want to bash Chad because I don't dislike him. I don't have any. I don't dislike Andy. Andy's been nothing but nice to me. Chad's all right. I mean, I
don't have anything against them.
I don't get against any of them. Well, but I mean, if he thinks this stunt is going to get me to shut up about him, he's got another fucking thing coming, dude. The party's been over for fucking months, man, and I keep fucking somehow managing to do this. Really, the best way to get rid of me is fucking ignore me, have people stop donating, and they won't stop donating. So I have an obligation to do as many shows as I possibly can. And considering all I do is keep you in your mouth, well, the way I take that is they're paying me to do it. Hope so. Have a nice day, tropes.
There's no R in his name.
Yeah. Real talk.
Super Tobes. There's
whatever
no R.
His name is, I don't care. Poonerman. That makes me think of Harrison Mooney. $1. Yo, real talk, Metaphor Messiah. You on the air?
Yo, Tom, can you hear me, bro?
Yeah, I hear you, bro.
You're good.
So check this out, bro.
Yeah.
Y'all are crazy, man. Like, I'm listening to this shit, bro. And like, but all I know is like, I remember I was listening to Dave's chat, bro. Like I was in Dave's one of his shows. Billy the Fridge called in. They had a nice conversation. I don't know what they was talking about because I was high, bro, but it sounded real nice. You know what I mean? And then,
like, I did notice that myself. It did seem like a nice conversation.
Bro, and then like I don't know, like 6 hours later, Billy was on Baited. Like, and he was talking about like Dave was a flip flop, and Keem said something like I was listening in, like he was a fucking fed. And then he got my nigga Billy looking like Donnie Brasco and shit. Like he wore the wire in there.
Yeah.
And then
Oh my god.
He wore a wire. Charlie fucking M. Charlie fucking M. You fucking held out for Charlie fucking M.
bro, and then fucking Andy and the other guy just sitting there like, oh, Charlie fucking M, boss. You know what I mean?
Yeah, Charlie fucking M, boss.
Charlie fucking M.
I don't know, Henry. You may fold under questioning.
Oh man, I didn't know what the fuck was going on, bro. I don't know why. I have no idea, bro. And I'm just sitting there like, yo, Billy's my nigga, bro, but you can't be a rapper and Donnie Brasco, bro. You gotta pick one, bro.
You wore a wire. I don't know. I guess if I went that route, I guess it'd be called a conspiracy theorist. But I mean, it does seem a little weird. And well, I mean, fucking, Dave called me afterwards, and he's like, Billy called, and I was like, yeah, dude, he likes you. He told me he likes you. I'm not even surprised, And then we saw him on, and we're like, oh yeah. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe, well, go ahead.
I don't know, man. Like, I fuck with Billy. Like, I talked to him plenty. So he's a cool dude, bro. I just didn't know what the fuck was going on. I was like, well, was this fucking Goodfellas, bro? I didn't know what the fuck is going on. I was
he
like,
folded on the question. Well, he's in the Keem protection program now, Welcome to the baited protection program. You may fold on a. Don't rat in your friends. One thing in life, there, Billy. Never read.
I'm fucking high, bro.
Yeah, I can see that.
Let me get the fuck out of here.
I can tell that you have a big grin on your face right now.
Donnie Brasco. Thanks, Keith. Thanks. It's the Keem Protection Program.
The KPP.
I don't know what the hell. I'm interested in what Billy's got to say because Dave didn't flip-flop and I didn't fuck over Keem for no reason. So I'm interested to see what he has to say, if he says anything.
If anything.
Because I saw Dave responded to him and he didn't answer. So, I mean, he's made his choice in life. And
just have to wait and see.
He's made his choice in life and I know how it doesn't shock me. I know how cutthroat this shit is. I've seen it from day one.
We've seen it before.
We saw it even before we got fucking unbaited with the Joe Cronin thing. That shit got ugly as fuck.
Multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if even if he has to, he doesn't even have to explain himself. But I'll tell you something. I don't know if I'd want to be doing that and hang around hip hop folks. Seems kind of strange to me. 402, you're on the air. Hello? You're on the air, 402. Not for much longer. Hello, you're on the air.
See?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
We got.
Hey, what's up, man? I just had a question for you. Well, it's all between about that whole DJ Keemstar thing. My question was, what do you think would happen if, I guess, Clown and DJ get their own podcast? What would happen if Clown goes over to their podcast?
He's got every fucking right to do it.
He's a grown-ass man. He can do
asked me. I don't fucking. I guess there was some mention in the podcast that we need to let him go. Well, not the fucking.
Yeah, I know that's some bullshit about that. I heard that.
Clown
or hand him off.
Clown can do whatever the fuck he likes. He's not bound by Catch 33. He told us that he wants to stick doing it. I hope he does keep doing it.
Me too. You guys are rocking right now.
And I think it's a better podcast. I think that's why Keem had to drum up this Draga. He knows over time if we get more consistent, we'll crush. That it's a much better podcast. Might as well nip this in the bud. But I don't control Clown. The only thing I've ever even complained about is when he got to the DeFranco story first. That's it. And that was it. I wish we didn't. I wish we'd have done it first. I wish you'd have waited till we woke up. That's it. That's all there ever was. And that's what I'm saying. There's something feminine about Keem. There's he told us, said it on the last Catch 33, the recorded one, that he's basically busting Clown's balls 24/7. Me vegan, because he's a grown-ass fucking man. So the sewing circle, the nannies with the big obnoxious Italian old lady, work him over every fucking day. I can't, free Clown, I can't tell Clown, he's a 29-year-old man.
Right.
I can't tell him to do shit. I want him to do Catch 33, sure, but going on Baited or whatever happened to the fucking live stream that Tim and Keem were supposed to do. I didn't have a problem with that. You can see me freaking out over that shit.
That's the problem.
Yeah, it's live. He's probably pussing out. But I don't tell.
Weird reason he does leave.
I don't tell Clown what to do. All right, that's it. Keemstar tells Clown what to do, not me. Not Vega, and certainly not Dave.
Nobody's going to tell Vega what to do.
No one's telling Vega what to do. That's it. No one tells. So what if he goes? If he went over to, I'd be disappointed. Life goes on. No, you know what I would do? See, because this is what it is about, Clown, at the end of the day, and who's winning his affection. I'm not even fighting for it. All right? Thank you so much for the donation. Yeah, I'd be really disappointed. And I would still report on Keemstar if he accused somebody, a fucking famous YouTuber, of some stealing, and show what a fucking hack he was. Yes. Nothing would change. Nothing's got to change. I did this for free. I can do it if people want to keep paying me, that's great, but I'll do it for free either way. Keemstar, I'm going to be around for years to come. I got to drop dead. Maybe you'll get lucky. Thanks for the call, man.
Yeah, maybe you'll get lung cancer.
Yeah, I'm fucking smoking again. Tommy C. Kid, you're on the air.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, I know. I'm going risky. I can't take everybody that likes you. Tommy C. Kid, going once, going twice.
Hello, Tommy C.
What do you got, you fucking dork?
Hello.
All right. You say something funny at least or insulting, like tinfoil Tommy?
Hey. Mike, no.
No, you're not.
No, you're not. God, I wish they were funny. Killer Clown, you're on the air. 3.
Hi.
Hey, what's up, man?
Hello.
What do you got?
Hey. I'm a new caller, so I just want to say Keemstar accuses you of using Clown as a what? To be famous. Like using his name to get views, and then he puts on that video that he made about you, he puts his name, he puts Clown's name in it, and then Clown's not even in there.
So what? You know
what I'm saying.
Yeah. He's a lying sack of shit. He's a misleader and manipulative. I'm not here. I'm here to defend my fucking self from Billy's accusation. Most of the things that he accuses people of, he does himself. Look, he's on a rampage right now with Comedy Shorts Gamer. Guy's one of the nicest fucking guys in this fucking game. Well, then again, I don't know if I'm ever going to say that shit again. I think I said that about somebody else recently. Hardy fucking har. So, I mean, yeah, whatever. There's hypocrisy there. But I don't really think hypocrisy sticks to Keem, and here's why. If you're made of fucking dirt doesn't, if you throw dirt at the dirt, it really doesn't do much. And this guy's made of fucking shit. So, I mean, I'm not going to even, it's just kind of minor league, bro. Thanks for the call, man. That's it. 720, you're on the air. It's Donnie Brasco.
Hey, Tom, how's it going?
You're not wearing a wire, are you?
No.
You're not wearing a wire. You're not going to go on baited and fucking snitch on me, all right? Lazy Seal Gang, let me shout this out. Just remember, you're explaining, you're losing. Embrace the tinfoil hat. Fuck these callers right now. I guess. He fucking did fine this month. I can't believe I made as much money as last month. And it was all donations for the most part. On the fucking $300 YouTube threw me. Fucking jackasses. What do you want, 720? What do you got?
All I want to say is I just want Chad and Andy to come back and tell him to stop Keem from doing this. Like, why don't they go to him and tell him to stop talking about you? They complained about multiple times in the past in these podcasts, and it's really to their own detriment. Like, it's a boring podcast when they keep talking about you and rehashing this old crap.
Yeah. I don't know. You got it. That's something for them, dude. I mean, I don't care if they do. I really don't. They're allowed to talk about me. I don't care.
They can do it, right? But from like an audience standpoint, right?
Mm-hmm.
You bring on Billy the Fridge just so that he can agree with you, Keem, and say Tommy sucks. Like, that's your guess?
No, that's why he got rid of us. Because we weren't going to agree with him all the time. Certainly Clown wasn't. And it was only after he got... I mean, he used to say it all the time. I don't need you guys for this podcast. You can be replaced. I can still get a certain amount. And he's not wrong. You probably get 100K a video. And then he replaced me with a legit celebrity. A guy that had a show on MTV. And it's never been the same. He's never had the voice. My voice hasn't changed. But I mean, that's just... why is your fucking camera off, genius?
My brother's walking in my room.
It's another thing. You're gonna have to ask Chad and Andy. I don't know. I got no issues. I don't really have any issues with those guys, dude. I can't criticize guys that are riding the wave, even though the wave ain't as high, because I did the same thing. You know what I mean? That would make me a big fucking phony. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with that. But they've brought it up multiple times in the past on the podcast.
Well, I guess they fell for the fact that that they were told, like I was, that we were allowed to say what we want, do what we want. It didn't matter. We could disagree with Keem, and they found out that's not true. And all they hear about is him getting even with me, just like I heard about him getting even with Graydon Leafy. It doesn't fucking change. Told you so. They can do what they want. I'm not going to tell them how to live their lives. They're certainly not going to tell me. Thank you for the call, sir. You know. Big Willie Friday on here.
Oh, hey, how's it going?
What do you got, man?
First, I got to say, sick Gretzky jersey. I'm Canadian, so I love it.
The last year. He retired in 1999. I got him on my team. Jeff got him for a year, too.
Yeah, we got him for a whole whole 17 games, and he still couldn't win the fucking cup.
And listening to yesterday's podcast, it was interesting because it seemed like it all stemmed from a conversation with Dave.
Yeah.
I didn't hear that conversation with Dave, right?
Yeah.
So I kind of missed that whole concept. But it seemed like he was attacking the Catch 33 podcast and specifically trying to target Clown.
Yeah, he's trying to get Clown back. Clown's told me that he fucking... So, I'll be honest. Clown's told me 1,000 times that Keem is just in his ear constantly. You know, so it's like a thing. Like, it would be a big victory for him. You know, he could say he got back even with anybody. I'm sure he's just obsessed.
He wants total victory.
He's just obsessed with that, as he was obsessed with getting even with Graydon Leafy. So why not get even with me? And then with the whole tinfoil thing and fucking, putting the shit on Baited, it's just he hopes that I'm going to do what all the other 19-year-old YouTubers do when they take any fucking shit. He doesn't get me because he doesn't know me. Yeah.
But he says that you're talking about him all the time. And I've listened to both podcasts. And from my understanding, it seems like you only talk to him on Shot from the Point. So it has nothing to really do with Catch 33.
Well, it doesn't matter how much I talk to him on Shot from the Point or Catch 33 or what. It's a red herring. It's just, look, you're a conspiracy theorist. You're a liar. You're an e-beggar. You talk about me more than I talk about you, fucking pointless circular conversation. Here's what it means. Shut the fuck up and don't talk about me, ever, for any reason. Or I'll make fun of you, and all your peers will laugh at you, and you'll be embarrassed. I'm getting this from I'm getting this from the guy who can't read in the back of the short buck screeching at the top of his lungs. You know, I literally have...
To be fair, you can't
the high school kid is autistic, and he's still the bully in school. How the fuck? I mean, what can I do here? Yeah,
like you're right. He injects himself in these topics like Daddy 05 and stuff, right? And
which by the way, I stuck up for him on that one. Did I flip flop? Did Dave flip flop?
Like no, but like the whole thing is like this is your own podcast, right? You don't really deal with all that, and I listen to you for your opinion on this podcast per se, but like it has nothing to do with Clown, right? He's trying to tear you down and take Clown away from you, but on a podcast that's fully your own. And you have a platform that is so much smaller than him. So it's not like you're really hindering his opinion at all.
No, I'm not. I'm just, but Keem, and also, you got to understand something about Keem. He's got big dreams. He believes in hard to because he's a psycho that he can control that he can control this. You know?
And he thinks he's the god. I don't know. To me, it seems like he thinks he's the god among gods.
Yes.
But,
he's fucking completely out of his mind narcissist, out of his fucking gourd. He's fucking, I mean, in one sense, he says that I'm irrelevant. He does an entire show on the most popular trending topics podcast on YouTube. He tells me that if I really want to ever grow, that I got to stop talking at him. And then in the same breath says the only time I ever get any views when I talk about him. It's double speak. And then he's got his group thinkers for the double speak. And they all have their own reasons.
I just see him dancing with a big Catch 33 logo. Just stamped on his
it's
just
head. That's it. I mean, and like I said, people laughed at me when I said he needs us more than we need him. But people laughed at me. But no, he doesn't need us as far as like his financial. But he needs Catch 33 to either die or not be a competitor or get Clown back. This is just another move. It's a manipulative move. That's all it is. And I'm not gonna fall for it. And I'm not gonna everything that Keem said going to do. I'm going to do the opposite. All right, Clown wants in. I gotta let you go, bud.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh, you actually read my Skype message?
Yes, but I was in the middle of talking, so
Wow.
Yeah, I did. I tried. I just happened to catch that one. Don't get too fucking excited. Yeah, let's find Clown, buddy.
Yeah, don't get your hopes up, girls. He's not going to see your.
Yeah, Mr. Hot himself. Hey, buddy.
Yo, how's it going?
I don't know, man. I'm mad at you for introducing me to Billy the Fridge.
Why?
Well, I don't know what you saw he did to Dave. I mean, he was awful nice to him. He misrepresented him, and he also...
Oh, you gotta understand something with Billy the Fridge. Like, he just talks shit.
Yeah.
Like, all the time. Everything's a big joke to him because he's a big fat joke.
Yeah.
So don't take anything he says too seriously.
Well, I haven't taken anything seriously,
podcast, so.
but I have to defend myself when he says that I flipped on Keem on a dime for no reason, and you know, I flipped on him for 2 reasons, for you, and the fact that I found out that he tried to fire me months earlier. You know, that's why I flipped on Keem, and that's really all I got to say on it. And I was just going to take calls. If you want to put your 2 cents into it, because there's nothing new.
Well, I think the easiest thing to do, because it's a long podcast, it's like 40 minutes. You want to ask me a question, I'll give you an answer. I think that's...
I don't have any questions for you.
If you want to do it that way.
No, I don't have any questions. You want to put people on? Yeah, I'll put people on. I have no questions for you. You told us, you know, okay. I have nothing with you. Nothing at all. I mean, it really isn't about... It's about you.
There were some things that were said that were right and some things that were kind of off. Like you're influencing my creative talent and you're diminishing my ability to grow and shit like that. That's I don't believe that. That's rubbish. Okay. I think I'm diminishing my own ability to grow by not producing videos.
It's hard to grow when you don't do anything.
There was a fantastic point made by Keem, and he said that the Catch 33 podcast is kind of falling short because you guys, you, Tommy and Dave, are talking about stuff on your own shows before we've talked about it on Catch 33. And that's been the case for every single show, even the one with I Hate Everything, because a lot of the topics we discussed, you'd already discussed it on your show. So that kind of waters down what we talk about on Catch 33, since we've already had your opinion for 2/3 of the podcast.
But, you know, that's something me and you could work out. I don't need Keem to help me with that.
They don't have that because obviously Keemstar runs Drama Alert. Now, he does talk about a few things on his stream, but not regularly. And there's certain terms and conditions on Stream Me or Twitch where you can't talk about those things, so he doesn't. So, of course, that opinion is always fresh for his own show, Baited.
Sure.
Whereas Catch 33, you're only really hearing my opinion for the first time, whereas we've already heard Tommy and Dave's opinion.
Sure.
And when there's not an argument and when we don't disagree on something, it's kind of just reciprocated information.
There is some truth in that because we both do trending talking podcasts.
It's definitely, that is definitely a good point.
Well, it is a good point because I remember when we started, you said you're going to have to get rid of Dave. You're going to have to let Dave do his own thing so it doesn't sound the same when we go do it. And that's exactly what we did.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, all right, that's a good point, but you know, his good points.
Now, I'm not putting all the blame onto you because obviously you guys are more free and able to record Catch 33 podcast than I am.
Sure. I mean,
so if I really wanted to, I could say, well, we've got to do Catch 33 about a topic before you talk about it on your own shows. But due to the time lapse and my inability to have a lot of time, yes, there is a problem there because obviously it could be a week before an episode gets out, and therefore it
doesn't really matter anyway. Well, so I mean, I absolutely, you know,
but it still is a good point.
Clown, I mean, if this is a concern of yours, because it's not a concern of mine, because
is it a concern? See, I don't know. I say it's a good point. Is it really a concern? Well, it's certainly going to diminish some of the viewing that people have towards it and people's opinions on it because they're just hearing the same thing over and over again, which they've already heard from you and Dave. Now you can make the argument that most people who are listening to Catch 33 are only listening to it for me, or at least the majority of them are. So you can make that statement, and therefore they don't watch yours and Dave's show, so they don't know what you're talking about. So that's a counter argument. It's a difficult one, but it is a good point.
Yeah, it's a good point. But you know what? Whenever Keem makes good points, I've stuck up for him publicly before. It's good points. That's not what I'm fucking concerned about. I'm a little concerned about the fact that he keeps calling me an e-beggar. There's no context, no evidence, no examples. I'm a little concerned that he keeps saying that, you know, I beg for money, that I'm a liar, no context, no examples, no evidence. It's not the good points, Clown, that I'm terribly concerned about. It's the trashing of my friend and what appears...
the e-begging thing we've discussed so many times before on this show, and I believe on Catch 33 as well. You know, that I disagree with the fact that you're an e-beggar, right? And you've discussed that. You've proved that point wrong. Now, he can keep saying it, but I feel that you've already diminished that point already. So, so just because he keeps saying it doesn't mean you have something to worry
Well, that's true. And I didn't go into great detail. Thank you so much, Flip. That's a $33 donation. I do appreciate it. Now I can feed my family. But the thing is, and then, all right, that's all well and good. I didn't really, the only thing I addressed today was really, I mean, that's all the same bullshit. But the only thing I addressed today was Billy's thing, where he said that I fucking essentially stabbed me in the back and it looked shady to him because I was so gung-ho Keem. Well, yeah, I was gung-ho Keem until he started fucking people.
I remember that part.
You know?
Billy the Fridge said so few things on that podcast.
Which is a riot.
They get to a half hour
because
in.
Keemstar was doing most of the talking, bear in mind. Now, I'm going to try and defend Billy the Fridge here, but again, I don't really know. Bear in mind, Keemstar was talking over a lot of people on that podcast. Billy barely got a chance to speak, so it's very easy to understand that and take his words out of context. And maybe he was going to continue that point and elaborate more. That's the point you could make.
I suppose you could, but he was on. He was on Dave's podcast.
But give him the benefit of the doubt because he is a good guy, and
but here's the problem: clown. I told him why I left Baited. He said to me, wow, it's fucked up. It does seem like he changes his sort of behavior and attitude depending on, and I grew up with a lot of people like this. Yeah, I mean, when I'm talking to him about Keem, it's like, that's fucked up, and yeah, it's really fucked up. I don't blame you. When he's talking to Keem, that's not a sign of a good character. Could he have been taken out of a contest because Keem would have bad of him? Well, it's a little tough to take. It's a little tough to take this out of context.
When everything was going big with Baited, Baited was.
I think.
Where I would
hold on, I want to play this again.
I've known Billy for the best part of a year now, maybe just over a year. He's got a good character. I think you'll just have to take my word for that.
Okay. But, I mean...
The best thing for you to do is to speak to Billy first. Because it's so easy for him to just say one thing, and maybe he meant something else.
I definitely want to... I am willing to listen to his explanation.
Get a chance to finish what he was going to say, like I just did then. And so the best thing to do is just to speak with Billy the Fridge.
Well, I'm waiting to... I want him to make a public statement about it, because it's one of two fucking things. It's either... he went on there, didn't know the whole story, and talked out of his ass, which, I mean, everybody's done at one time in their life. Or he threw me in the bus. There's no two ways about it. This is a binary issue. He said it was shady. He said it was scummy. He said it was something he always had a problem with me with, and he never mentioned it once. And I got plenty of Skype calls going well over an hour. It was never mentioned to me. Every conversation with Billy that I ever had was nothing but... and he was like, I was freaking out that one night when everybody's losing subs. He was nothing but supportive. I said on several occasions that he's one of the most decent people going. I didn't know the guy that was on Baited yesterday, so I'm a little suspicious, to say the least. Do I have absolute proof that he meant what he said?
Speak to him privately. That's what I recommend.
All right. Well, I want him to answer this
publicly. I mean, there was so much that was talked about on that podcast. So it's very difficult for me to break down everything that was said. As far as, Tommy and Dave have no fucking talent, I don't agree with that. Obviously, I think you guys do have talent. And I think you make a big... It's just not... It's a different podcast. It's a very different podcast.
Yeah, it is.
And it's not very successful at the moment. And personally, I'm not happy with the way it's with the way it's going, with the numbers. And I don't really normally care for numbers, but the numbers are low and they should be higher. So we've got to figure out what's wrong, what should we be doing right.
More episodes.
As far as I'm concerned, the episodes that we've released so far have been good. Now, I'm not so sure about this new episode we've already recorded with Chris Reagan.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a bit boring. You disagree. We're going to put it up anyway, of course. But the episodes we've released so far, in my opinion, are pretty good. But the numbers are not there. So we've got to figure out why the numbers are not there, and then we've got to work on it, and we've got to improve it. And that's what we've got to do.
All right,
as far as me returning to Baited, last thing, as far as me returning to Baited, I can say this, I will never leave Catch 33, or at least for the foreseeable future, i.e. In the next 12 months, I will not be leaving Catch 33, and you can have my assurance on that, unless something fucking terrible goes wrong. And it's going to take quite a lot. Let's face it. It's going to have to be an absolute fucking catastrophe for me to leave Catch 33.
And look,
in that scenario of me leaving Catch 33, I would leave you guys with the entire podcast.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't want any part of it. and you'd be left with the YouTube channel, etc. I don't see that as a possibility happening. I think that's a very unlikely chance. As far as me going back to Baited itself, yes, there's a possibility that maybe I might do that in the future, but I would be doing both Catch 33 and Baited, and that's only if I leave my job, which I have some kind of plans to do in the foreseeable future. I can't say too much about that. But yes, I have seen that as a potential possibility. Okay, that's all I have to say.
All right, that's it. And I'll tell you something. We're not going to beat you up no matter what. We'd like you to stay on Catch 33. I think it's a much better quality. I think that's why Keem wants you back. And I do want you to consider the fact that, you know, when things were tough with Baited, when me and you were there, you were complaining about being jerked the fuck around. If you go back, you're going to be jerked fucking around again. And I just wish. I wish, and I think a lot of other people wish.
I know it's not fucking easy.
Yeah.
And obviously, I've talked about the reasons why I left Baited with you and started Catch 33. Like, this has all been discussed. Like, there were perfectly legitimate reasons I feel for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
If I go back, on my head be it, and I know it's going to be a bit of a struggle. Like, it's not easy working with DJ Killer Keemstar.
Yeah.
Is it going to be worth it? So you have to weigh up the two options. Like, have things changed since then? Yes, a few things have changed. And is it giving what the audience wants? Yes, I think it is. Is it going to be... Here's a big question, and this is what I think a lot of people have some kind of misrepresentative information about. Is me returning to Baited going to boost the numbers up so drastically that it's going to be back to what it was? See, I don't think it is. I don't think it is. Now, maybe the numbers are going to increase slightly, and maybe the show is going to improve a little bit, but it's never going to be what it was, and I don't think me returning is going to have such a significant impact. You're going to notice such a significant change.
I don't care what the numbers are. I like doing Catch 33 because it's the most original podcast on the net. We were accused of being a big circle jerk. It didn't turn out that way. It's got more depth, and it's not about Keemstar or Keemstar's revenge plans. I think the better it is. I know you love debating with the guy. I know you've made it, but
yeah,
I mean,
it's a lot of fucking fun. And a lot of fucking very entertaining for a lot of people.
Sure.
Considering the comments.
Sure.
You've got to listen to the people. You've got to listen to the people. So when I see hundreds and hundreds of comments saying, "Clown, go back to Baited. Baited should be better without you," you've got to kind of listen to that. Now, maybe some of those people have been influenced by what they've heard. And maybe they've been influenced by several other comments, and it's kind of a snowball effect. Yeah,
I don't know, like 24-hour streamies
so many,
going on.
You've got to take note of it, haven't you? You've got to listen.
You also got to take
note.
note.
The options. Is it going to be worth going back to Baited? So whether I make that decision in the next few months, you know, that's a possibility, and it's not completely off the table.
You also got to take in front that, I mean, we're talking about a guy with a huge platform, and he can just repeat himself over and over and over again. It can look like something it isn't. You know, and all I would say is remember the reasons you left. I mean, I remember having conversations with you.
Oh, trust me,
I can't leave if he's going to continue to censor me. He broke every single agreement that he ever made. But I think the difference between you is you don't care because you're not doing this for the money. You're doing it for fun.
Right.
Do I miss that part of Baited? Yeah, sure. But I think you're dealing with a pretty bad dude. And I don't want to get into the evil argument, but it's kind of going in my favor since the first Catch 33 episode. I mean, Comedy Shorts Gamer now.
You do understand that I knew all this going in.
Yeah, I know you do. But I guess I'm making a reference to evil. I'm making a reference.
I signed up to do the podcast.
Yeah, I'm making a reference.
So nothing's changed in that respect.
Yeah.
Only what I've learned from all the shit that went down when we left the podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. And that I've got to weigh up in my mind. Is it worth it? And that's a decision I'm yet to make. But like I said, cards are not all off the table.
Gotcha.
There's a distinct possibility that could happen. I might be doing both.
Okay.
But at the moment, I don't have fucking time to do both. So we will have to see what happens.
You do.
And that's like
and I just want to make this abundantly clear because that was another fucking bullshit story. Nobody's making, on our end, on Vegan, nobody's making you do shit. Nobody's telling you. Nobody's haranguing you. Nobody's nagging you. And this.
And I'm sorry. Yeah. In fairness, you said like Keemstar is telling me what to do. No, he's not actually. Now I know it kind of looked that way on.
You said it on the podcast, and you said
I know it
kind
of
being
looks
pulled
that
in both
way.
directions.
I know it kind of looks that way. But when I've spoken to him in private, Keemstar actually says to me, "I don't even want you to come back to Baited. All I want you to do is work with people on another podcast with different people, just not Tommy and Dave." Like, Keemstar is not that set on me coming back to Baited. Obviously, he wants me to come back to Baited, yeah. But as long as he's more keen on me leaving Catch 33 and doing something else, over going back to baiting.
Well, I don't believe that for a fucking minute. This is a revenge. This is the same thing with Gray and Leafy. This is revenge. I guarantee you fucking Andy and Chad get harangued all the time about how rotten I am, and now I guess Dave's been added to the list. I don't buy that for a minute. I'm sorry. I don't buy that at all.
All right.
But I mean, you know, like it's not that you're lying. I'm not calling you a liar. It's just I don't see it that way.
No, that's literally what he told me.
Yeah,
I'm just relaying what he said to me.
He told me I could say what I want too. He told what I could do what I want. You know, he told me he's going to pay me. He stiffed me out of money. So I mean, whatever. All right, Clown, I got to end the show. It's almost 10 o'clock here. That means I got to close shop. But thank you so much for being a part of it.
No worries.
And thank you for committing to Catch 33. I do appreciate it.
No worries, man. All right, take care.
Talk to you later, man. All right, that's it. Class is crazy.
I wanted any of you to try to come in here and get in a word during that.
Yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Like, what are you gonna do? You like I don't know. I mean, I get the same shit on Bailey. Like, you never talked. Well, fucking Clown. Like, do you want me to interrupt the fucking cool part?
Let's just yell at each other the entire time simultaneously.
Yeah, this thing. So look, this is a committed thing. I think Billy's got some explaining to do. I'm actually renaming the stream now.
I thought you did that already.
No, I didn't do it yet. Billy the Fridge. This is why we call let's see how. Billy the Fridge. This is how Baited got its name. So. I hope he has some kind of explanation. I think he did it publicly. I'm not really thrilled. I mean, he can call me privately if he wants to. I'm not chasing him down. That's ridiculous. But I'd rather him do it publicly because he took it to, he took it to the public. I think he can, explain himself.
He can hit you up.
He can explain himself. I don't really care what he does is not. He's certainly lost my trust because I clearly remember saying. What my gripe was. I mean, fucking guy tried to fire me behind my back, and then he really dragged Clowns. I don't know why Clowns got it. Dave says he has Stockholm syndrome. I don't know why I don't understand why Clown would take that chance again. But again, we don't tell Clown what to do.
He can do what he wants.
He's a grown-ass motherfucking man. Get that Catch 33 out with Chris Ray on. I'm telling you, it's going to be good. I'll see you tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Almighty infinite, independent excellence. Devil fighting, rebel titan, weed smoking alchemist. Fake identities, okay, you cool with Jason Bourne. Running with these Wolverines, okay, you about to catch a storm. I ain't never been a liar, got tired of niggas playing me. Head in my legs like she about to catch a pedigree. Chi-Town, the King's home, slapping fives, black stones. 6 Mile to danger zones, bullets look like waffle cones. Folk affiliated to evolution of Machiavelli. Don't make me lead them eagles to you like I'm Chip Kelly. They feel my struggle, I express it through my hip hop. I'm about to make it hard to breathe, here's a headline.